Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Frontline in the Trenches. It is the FPL Prediction League in the Trenches. The words are jumbled. It's been a long week, but it is the FPL in the Trenches. I am Scott, once again here with my co-host, BeerMeJesus. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, Scott. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. I didn't call you champ, and that was kind of on purpose, because we got some titles coming up, and you're not exactly involved in it, so I kind of
I
have to
know.
not... I mean, you never lost them. Let's be clear.
It's true.
Uncrowned, rightful champ. But
Mm-hmm.
we got some stuff coming up. But if this is your first time here, this is the Frontline Prediction League. Like, favorite, and subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Follow the Twitter as well, Frontline Official, or Frontline Prediction. Forgive me. It'll be linked all down below. It's all a jumble right now. But yeah, we just had results come out yesterday for FPL Elimination Chamber, which you can see on the site here. If you want to read these results, which I always recommend you do, please go to our Discord. You can sign up there. You can be part of the stuff. Like you can see there's the chamber with the picture with Owens and Uso and Corbin and that. But then the one down below with Owen and Escobar and Moxley, like that those are our guys. It'll make sense. It was kind of the bit of a pause we had after like a run of shows. Boom, boom, boom. Has hit us now. This was the first three in a row, like 3 shows within a month, starting with January 31st, and today's the 25th. It's been nuts. How's it been from your side of things, seeing it on the outside looking in? Seeing how things have developed over 3 shows already.
Pretty fun. Pretty
Yeah.
fun. I like where it's going. Everything's like I said earlier. Every feud kind of feels like a big deal. That's what I like.
We want that to be a thing. We had ideas for where some stuff can go, and then we see how things happen, and then people got into it and be like, I want to do this, I want to do that, and we're like, oh, that works with this, and it just all elevates from there. Like the whole thing with RGX now, I just thought that would be cool first match with good promos, and that led to a whole thing, and he's splitting with Rate Wrestle, and it's like, okay, that's happening, and there's stuff with me kind of getting sidetracked, and I stalled just because I thought it'd be a neat match. And it's organic, which is the idea of almost weekly, which is what it kind of was. So, you've had some fun with FBU of late, haven't you? It's
Yeah, we're getting on track. We're getting it rolling.
you're getting rolling. We're gonna talk about all that here tonight with the Elimination Chamber recap on this edition of In the Trenches. We will be talking a little bit about Fastlane, actually more about WrestleMania because stuff is coming together for that, and we can look at the card real quick. But we won't really go over like who we think is gonna win those. But we'll just let people know what's upcoming, because another awesome part that we were just talking about before we recorded this is how excited we are when promos happen from people, be it the text ones, but also video promos. We'll put the results out, and we'll get 8 promos within 24 hours. Easy. Hell, the show will finish, and before the results are up, we'll probably get 5 promos. Just because people know who won and they start in there. So it's awesome. It's so great to see. I am beyond thrilled by the reception on this. That said, if you like it, let us know. If you don't, let us know, because we want to be able to modify this and evolve it and make things go the way it works best for everyone. Point blank, you might come to us with something and we're like, no, this works. Or let's see how we can incorporate that. Especially with storyline ideas, we want to make sure stuff makes sense. But as far as for things like try this or try that, we're pretty open to it. It might not be immediate, but we'll take it under consideration. And there's probably going to be some interesting stuff on the next War Room regarding that for what the timing is right now. But bear me, I think I've stalled long enough. It's been a whole 3 minutes. Let's dive into the chamber. What do you think?
I'm down. Let's do it.
A match that neither of us were in, no less. We have Ash winning the Elimination Chamber over Sebastian Escobar, the Midnight Rider, Mad Elite Titan, Ralentando, and Cam. As we said just before recording, Ash was kind of a favorite just based on pedigree and history, but he was also kind of written off by everyone because of the waves that Escobar made as the Rumble runner-up and being selected in, and Lee, the stretch he's been on as the Midnight Rider, and Cam as well. Relentendo making the most of an opportunity to get in there and like seize the day, and then Mad Elite Titan kind of coming out of nowhere and surprising everyone. Ash is the one with the world title pedigree, and here he is now going towards Pain at WrestleMania in the world title eliminator for SummerSlam. I'm not surprised, but like I said, I kind of slept on it. I kind of forgot he was there, and I was rooting for almost everybody else. And that's not a knock on him.
Yeah.
He's that good. Also, he's got the Roman pick base now instead of Jeff Hardy, which is badass.
Right.
But yeah, I am surprised by it just because it's not what I expected. I'm not surprised he won because we all knew he could. These were all people who had won 2-0, especially Escobar, who had beaten Pain. So these are all guys that were ready for it. But
I gotta, man. I mean, I know Ash won, but man, I think the other big story is just Sebastian Escobar finishing second again. Like, man, dude. Like, I could imagine being him and just, oh man,
it slipped out of his grasp twice.
Yeah,
twice. He's the runner-up.
The future's bright.
Both times. That, honestly, as far as for like looking good in defeat, that's about as good as you can get. Because to be the runner-up on both qualifying, it means he didn't get the job done, but you were this close from doing it. And it's like 1 in 30, okay. 1 in 6, okay, that stands out a bit more to me. That's he definitely belongs. And you look at the points. The points were insane because we had 22, 22, 22, 23, 24, 27.
Mm-hmm.
So Ash won it definitively, but everybody else was one bonus question away from overlapping somebody else.
Yep.
Right? Like it's nuts how close that was, which I want to say vindicates it a bit, kind of proves the metric of who we had in there. And I think the funniest thing about it, to me, is how the structure went, because early on it seemed to be that Cam and the Ryder were kind of like neck and neck, and then Escobar took the lead. But then Ash kind of came out of nowhere and swept it. And if you look at the way the results went, Escobar eliminated Relentendo and Cam. And then the Ryder comes in and takes out Mad Elite Titan. But then Ash takes out the Ryder, and lastly Escobar. There's kind of a story in that, in how Escobar gets starting strong. He's taking him out. He's taking out 2 of 6. He's a third. So that's half gone. He took care of half. He's one part of it, and the other 2 are out. The Ryder does someone else for him, and then Ash picks them both off. That's so good. And that's just based on scores. That's how it worked, because 22, 22, 22, 23, 24, 27. Not much more you can do there. So, like, we couldn't have written it that... I mean, we could have written it that good. I like to say that. But it just happened to work that way. And, yeah, Ash is in our WrestleMania main event.
It's good stuff.
I like it. I like it a lot. We also have the must-see good guys, BeerMeJesus, that's you, and the GMSG, that's the guy I hate, not really, defeated OVS members Casey Warden and Roman Pierce. And now this is, I mean, we got the in-joke there of Beer Me and Warden. Ha 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 ha.
Right.
I made myself cough from laughing at that. But you guys won. It was pretty handy, too, handily done, 46 to 35. There's some fallout in that, but we'll scroll to the results and we'll talk about that. We'll revisit that. What do you think?
All right.
Yeah, we'll come back to that because you're here, so it's a little more relevant when we get there. James Costner defeated Buck N5, 29-20. That match finally happened, and Costner won.
He does not suck.
He does not suck. Now things went down, and Josh Gionio came out, and we have problems with those two. This has been a real problem with the former Team No Chance, who, it makes me sad because they really did run roughshod over everyone when you least expected it. But now here they are.
In a death match.
In a death match, exactly.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, because you're going to get it, especially when Red's the GM. Yeah, you want a death match? She'll say how many. Like, this is not the person to ask.
Right, best 2 out of 3 death matches.
That sounds like a cool idea, yeah.
Right.
Speaking of hardcore match, Alexander McKennedy defeated Cammy Cat. It's a match they both wanted, and it's a violent feud. Honestly, you can go back and think of things like Undertaker and Mankind, which is what Cammy Cat's character is like. Is that? But it's like this one will beat the crap out of the other one. It's gonna take a while to do it, but this is the kind of one who can do it. It's funny when you think of James Storm and Becky Lynch for that too, but we go genders don't matter on this. It's fine. Anybody faces anybody. It's all story. But Cammy had the mystery box opened up a little bit, and she bled into it to make it better. Whatever the hell that means.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's better than Eric Rowan's Spider.
Hopefully.
But
there actually might be a reference to that. Like I could see a joke scene of that. It's like that wasn't it. Like that kind of stuff
right.
we could do, right?
So,
right? Next up, we do have Jace of Blades and Rate Wrestle defeating Kier 1 and RGX. Speaking of violent, this was very violent. And we knew it would be. After
it's got Jace in it.
Well, it's got Jace in it. His name is Jace of Blades now.
And Kier 1. Yeah.
Kier 1, I mean, those two are going to face off at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then Rate Wrestle and RGX. Yeah.
Rate Wrestle and RGX, two very different but very similar kind of violent matches. Because Jace and Kier 1 is eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Rate Wrestle and RGX is just straight up one-on-one. Which, knowing these two, I've been in there with them while I was in a restaurant. They're violent. Like, they don't need weapons to do what they do. So it's a good contrast. That's why I think this was a fun match. It's going to get nuts, those. So I look forward to seeing what comes of that.
Hopefully RGX is healed up by then. Yeah.
Hopefully. His Discord thing said window inspector as well. He's pretty great. His promos are so funny.
Yeah.
Like, he got costume stuff going. That's starting to happen now, too. All the props and stuff. It's so good. Speaking of promos, there was a great one Jonathan C.T. Martin just did after this, because his match with Lucian Hollis ended in no contest. The promo is fantastic, because after the match, Junction attacked, as Junction does, and forced him to sign the contract.
Yeah. And
then revealed he signed the other half of it, and it's WrestleMania. It's on. Jonathan C.T. Martin versus Junction at WrestleMania. But the promo had me just... I almost said howling, not even with the pun, because at the end he's like, and what's with the werewolf? Because Lucian Hollis is weird. He's weird, but it's cool. I like him a lot. I don't know. I don't know what to make out of it, but it's pretty awesome. So that's a thing. But it's fun to see just matches where these kind of line up. This matches up, and then where does it go? Because we got two very different outcomes based on that no contest for where we're going in the future for both those guys. Which, again, we planned where they're going, but hoped for the best on how they got there. Like, once we realized what could happen, is like, this could be neat, depending how it goes. And there we go. Yeah. Hey, look, it's me! Match of the night. Scott and Red defeated the Reaction. Luke, Gray, and Tino. We won.
Got a dub.
I had to look. I looked, and we actually do have one win. Ever. Back in the JRPL.
Wow.
I do forget who it was against already, but we did win one, but I think it was 2 years ago.
Wow.
We're talking 2019, I think, was when that was. It was maybe even 2018. Yeah. But we won.
Long time coming.
We won against Luke and Tino, which I'm glad I beat Tino. That was an inadvertent little story I got to kind of pull out for that. Tino had fun with it with his promo as well. We got to have some history there, and it's fun when you get to pull on history for promos, but also to make something up, like to see where you can go. And Luke was just wrong place, wrong time. That's the reason I fought him, because he was there. So that's fun. So yeah, so I've got some kind of free time. So we'll get to that one when we go next year. Smooth Rock defeated Lexi Briggs. Lexi has consistently been very close in her matches, 25-23 for her loss.
I like the ending of that match.
Yeah,
where like they were like the ref was like confused, so like Red came out and was like, no, Smooth Rock was in the ropes, and all of a sudden the ref's like, well, we got to restart it, and then bam, he just hits her with her finisher, and then she's like, oh,
yeah,
like
it's heartbreaking, but it's like I always say, like, just because you've lost doesn't mean you were beaten. You were just defeated. Like, you didn't get your ass handed to you like I did in a restaurant. It's different.
Right.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. Like when you guys beat OVS, you got the win, but you've had a run of things where you won, but you didn't you weren't standing tall. Very, very different.
Right.
So we'll get there. We'll get there.
Haven't been doing much of that lately.
No, that's part of being like one of the big superstars, which they're all wanting a piece of, which is why it's happening the way it is. It's pretty great. Speaking of wins, we have first-time winners in the FPL, I do believe. Death Money Inc. Or it might be Death Money Incorporated. I always say Inc. when I see that, like Money Inc., but it's supposed to be Money Incorporated, like Beer Money Incorporated. I always say Money Inc. Death Money Inc., which is a fun name. The Arbiter and Kano Mac, two masked ones, defeated Simple Creatures, Modstep, and Chappers.
Yeah.
The tag team. If you want to listen to what Beer Me and I say about Modstep and Chappers over the past, I don't know, 2 years, they're good. They're the best there is, tag-wise, I feel. And they just lost to these guys. That's not a knock on them, but they're 0-2 going into this. So,
yeah,
that's a big one. That's real big.
Good first win. Good first win. Yeah, that is a big first win. Yeah.
Yeah. However, the shenanigans were afoot with Creatures and FBU and what the Creatures OVS. It's a mess. We'll get there. We'll get there. Detrick Cyrus with the win over James Black. I don't forget your name. I never will. I told you that. But Detrick looked good. Back and forth battle on that one. He snuck out the win to open our main show. Excuse me. Sorry. And then we have the pre-show. Bastion defeated Clay Briggs, and oh look, it's FBU and more OVS stuff.
Right.
LJ defeated Payne, and now we have a Payne problem where he's 1-2. Well, I guess he's 2-2 because he won the Rumble.
Mattered. Yeah.
Yeah, because he won at the Rumble, but he also won the Rumble. But now he's lost his next two, and LJ's no joke either. So
it's kind of on a slide, a little mini slide.
A mini slide, yeah. I mean, as long as he wins at Mania, that's all that matters. You know that very well from your time in the Solution.
Yeah.
Like, you guys were tag champions, and you lost a lot of non-title matches or one-on-ones, but you never lost the title matches. That's what matters.
Sure.
That's the key. That's the key. So he can lose all these other ones, and maybe he's saving himself for the main event. Who knows?
Right? It's like you can beat me once, but can you do it again?
Can you do it when it matters? Yeah. But for others, like LJ, beating Payne mattered. For him.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter for Payne. Payne's got a shot. So, but it's, I mean, I say all that. 15's, he had a rough night. Not a good score.
Did.
It was a tough one. The Chamber was some tricky stuff to predict. We'll mention the specifics of how stuff even goes when matches get thrown out. I'll get to that here when we're done. But yeah, it was a tricky one. So, like a 15, yeah. Josh Dionio and Broken Nerd, match of the night, 27-25. That's a good scoring match. That's a good scoring one. And JD with the win over Nerd, very good. Very, very good showing.
Somebody keeps playing some mind games with Nerd. We'll have to figure out who that is. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
No.
But, I mean, what? Yeah, something's going on with that.
Right.
JD's got his issues going on. Someone's after Nerd. I mean, fun stuff is afoot. That's part of what's going on. That's what we do. We build stuff. We plant some seeds. It's a lot of fun stuff. So we'll get to that soon enough, I believe. Chef Urban beat Matt Zion 18-15. Yeah, not great scores, but 18's all you need, and you win. So there you go. JJ Rocky beat Angela Grace. JJ's back on the right winning side of things here. 25-16. Rough one for Grace, but still looked good. This is where everything kind of started crazy for FBU looking strong, because you guys came out during this one. Again, we'll get there. We'll get there. CM Carlito and Wookie defeated Ace High and Big Dolan, who I believe was debuting. 22 is not good for a tag. That, I mean, JJ Rocky would have beaten him by himself.
Well, I mean,
with his 25, right? He probably could. You're right.
Could probably beat a lot of people by himself. Yeah.
But that is spinning off of the Vengeance pre-show last week or last month. It's a blur. Junction defeated Bane the Bissa, and Killmonger defeated CJ Hawk by a point. Forgive me, there's three more. The Alpha Dog beat Kurt Cult. Monkey Bong beat Blue Monkey G. Ha, get it? And three newcomers. We had Spinks, Skylar Cross, and Glorious Viper. They went to a no contest because we had 18 and 18. and 14. So there's no winner. It's a no contest, which is a bit rough to have your record start as 0-0-1, but
it's better than a loss.
It's better than a loss. We do have some achievements. We'll mention these right quick. There's the 3 guys debuting. Urban, Carlito, Jace, JD, Junction, Kane, Monkey Bong, Alpha Dog, Arbiter, and Wookie all won their first match. So those guys won their first finally. So they were 0-2 up to this point. Ash and Detrick Cyrus got 3 in a row. Nobody else has done that. That's pretty impressive. Ash, Ralentendo, Cam Escobar, Mad Elite Titan, and the Midnight Rider were in a chamber, obviously. McKennedy won his hardcore match, and Ash won the chamber itself. You, GMSG, Jace, me, Red, Arbiter, Kane, Carlito, and Wookie won a tag match for the first time. And then Broken Nerd and JD won match of the night. So, you're looking at these and you're thinking, what about the matches that were thrown out? What about the things that changed? Because you put your picks in after we put the prediction page up on Friday night after SmackDown, after Wednesday night for a TakeOver, because the TakeOver, or even Dynamite, depending, it goes up. And the next one will be on March 7th for Revolution. Now, this is very important. Revolution will be our first house show, which means doesn't really matter toward your record whether or not you do good or not, or even show up. It's just for some storyline funsies. But at the same time, you can do stuff there that does matter. It's a story beat that you can do. But we don't want to hold people to go on a show they don't predict, because WWE is so predominant. AEW, Impact, and Ring of Honor are not as much. So those ones are like, hey, come along for some fun, put some picks in. You might win, you might not. But we're not going to make it one that really matters for you in as much. There might be some things here and there, like we don't have a Road Warrior title like the JRPL had, which is every show, and that's where those standings really count. But, I mean, if you don't want to show up on these, you don't have to. But if you want to, it will help us out. Main thing to put there. I mentioned ROH. They've had times where matches got thrown off. We had WWE with Hell in a Cell. How this all works is when you put your picks in, it's based on what the official card is. So everybody knew and was claiming that Lacey Evans was not going to face Asuka, right? Because she's pregnant. Legitimately. So she's never going to wrestle. But they never took that match off the card after SmackDown, so when we put the picks page up, it was on there. So was Keith Lee in the Triple Threat, because he was rumored to be out for an injury, but they never took him out, so we have to put it up there. We're not going to take him out and put it up, and then it happens differently, because then we're throwing it out. If we say that you cannot predict on Asuka versus Evans, but they end up doing something with it anyway, just because a rumor said so, or keep in mind, a legitimate thing said so, we should only put up what's officially there. That's how we do it. We did get burned on that once back in the JRPL. Actually, it was before we were even running it. I think it was Evolution, where it was Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm was taped, and everybody knew it was going to happen, but it didn't. Or so it wasn't taped, it was announced, but they didn't actually do it because the NXT UK match hadn't happened yet on its taping schedule, so they didn't actually do the match, so it got thrown out. But they never actually officially announced it, so we shouldn't have had it, and we're just going based on what's officially there. And if they say that Keith Lee's part of the match and Asuka's defending against Lacey Evans, those are on there. That's where you come in and do your picks accordingly. Don't put a lot of points on them, because depending on when the match comes off, it goes away. So if we put the picks page up Friday night, you have until the 1 hour prior to pre-show as your deadline. That's how it's always been. That's how we do it. The main reason is so we can modify things and adjust things based on what happens. Plus, if we have no shows, we have to change up matches as well. So you've got on a 6 o'clock pre-show start, because the pay-per-view's at 7, you've got until 5. That's your deadline. Now, if the picks page goes up on Friday night, and it's not 5 o'clock yet, and the match comes off, we just take it out. And everybody's points descend. So if you top-locked Matt Riddle to win that title match with Keith Lee in it on Friday night, and then on Saturday they pull the match out, well, your top lock is now whatever your second one was. And there's no longer 6 matches, there's 5. If you put 3 on it, it goes away, and then the 3 all descends. It accommodates it. Flip side is after the deadline hits, and we go live, and they still haven't taken it off, and then they do, or they even change the match by saying, oh, it's going to be Asuka versus Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. The match is thrown out because it's a different match. You didn't predict that one. If it's Asuka defending against somebody else, it's thrown out because they changed it after the deadline. Everybody had the same info, and now it's just moot. You get a big 0 for that. If you're hardcore, or even like ladder matches, it doesn't affect that stuff. You don't get negative; it just zeroes out. So if you happen to put 6 on Asuka, because of course she's going to win, right? Because maybe they did a match where it's a forfeit and it's still a match, which would count. But they don't do it, your 6 is gone. So put your 1 on that, right? And that happened. That literally happened where they said there's going to be a match on the kickoff show with like 6:02 during the kickoff show, which is an hour and 2 minutes after our deadline. At 6:02, they said, yeah, Keith Lee's not here and there's going to be a replacement match on the kickoff, which we didn't predict because we didn't know about the match yet. And then the winner goes on to face Riddle and Lashley for the U.S. title, which that match is thrown out as well. So we have our zeros on that. So that match went away. And then Asuka didn't defend either, and that went away. So we lost 2 matches off this card because of that. But that is why they stay there, because until they say they're gone, I don't care who says it. Like, Steve Austin could have a match booked for it, and he's sitting beside you, and you know he's not going to do it, but they're promoting it, so we're going with it. That's that's how we have to do it. I don't know why I said that as an example, but that I hope that gets the point across.
Right.
It's use booking odds, use your brain, use your ideas, come up with whatever you think is appropriate. I'll look at booking odds all the time, but then I'll be like, that's not how they're going to go, though. And booking odds said Cesaro was going to win. He didn't. So take what you will from there. I should go with your gut with Daniel Bryan like I should have.
Yeah.
You get what you get.
I feel you. Yeah.
So please keep that in mind. I know this is a half hour into this video, or not even half hour, but it's in the middle of this. There is going to be a special video I'm going to put up that you can point people towards. So if you're introducing people to the prediction league, they'll know about the descending points for the confidence points. So you don't have people putting, oh, I'm 6 confident on everything, or 7 like max on everything. No, your most confident is 7. Your next is 6, whatever the match number is. But also how stuff works. So I'm going to record one of those in a little bit for everybody leading up to Mania, so you can point towards that, so they don't come in blind. So they have an idea, but also those deadlines. Please. An hour before the kickoff or the pre-show, if there is one. NXT is like a half hour, so it was like 5:30, I think we had. Ring of Honor is, I think, Friday night at 8. So their kickoff is going to be at 7, so the deadline is 6. And it's a 4-hour pay-per-view, so yeah, it's who knows. Yeah. Anything to say on that stuff, BeerMe? As a former world champion, you know about putting your picks in, things like that?
Yeah. That's why I always wait till the
last minute?
Last minute, yeah. Literally, the last minute sometimes. But, yeah.
You, for TakeOver, I think submitted it, what was it, like 5:29 or something, or 5:28, I think it was, like the very, very down to the wire.
Yeah.
Or the Rumble you did. It was ridiculous. Stop doing it. Get it sooner. Because we want to make sure. If you do happen to submit after the deadline, I think there's a 15-minute or so time frame where we're like, all right, we can do it, but you're going to lose some points. Then you're cut off. You missed it. But yeah, so that's what led to what we have here with these results. So please, everybody, go read these results. We do put a lot of work into it. We put a lot of time into the storylines where stuff can go from there. That leads into the promos. Everything chains through to everything else. FBU, you hit a top rope Razor's Edge with Grace.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Payne had his troubles, as we mentioned. Then JJ went and took care of you guys. Cyrus and Black had their match, 3-0 for Cyrus. Death Money and the Creatures with an extravagant entrance. Smooth Rock and Briggs with the cool kind of finish, like you mentioned right there, about interrupting it to get a true winner, which is what we want. Match of Night and Reaction was fun. And oh, look at this! The Canadian Championship revealed. You've seen this picture, right, BeerMe? The actual Canadian Championship. I do have a...
Yeah, the actual one, yeah.
A nice big picture here. So, Red came out after our match, all smiles, appropriate to announce the Canadian Championship for the FPL. It is, yes, a play on the made-up one that I made up that you eventually won in the JRPL. Long storyline where I wasn't getting a title shot character-wise, so I made up my own. Very $1 million belt type thing. But this is an official, sanctioned, proper championship in the FPL. Think of it like the North American, or the Intercontinental, or right, that kind of thing. It's like a regional ish. We have a world title coming, but this is the Canadian Championship. And the first one will be declared at WrestleMania. And, BeerMe, you saw in the results here that there was something else that got announced during that segment.
Some a little bit more American, yeah.
Some a little more American. And
more violent.
I do have a proper photo here. I don't think you've actually seen the full color photo, BeerMe, so give me just a moment here as I go over, paste this so BeerMe can see it. I hope this works. There you go. The full color version for BeerMeJesus.
That's pretty American right there. You can't get much more American.
Yeah, the stars ended up way more Kurt Angle-y than I thought, because it was just stars on a background, but I could do an outline on them. And yeah, I like the idea, like the text and the lines. I designed these, but everybody was on board, like, I'll do this, so we went back and forth. But yeah, the American title. So there's the Canadian Championship and the American Championship. 2 equal championships, much like, yes, the U.S. and Intercontinental. I'll freely admit I was so adamant on calling it the American and not United States, simply because everybody else has the United States Championship. No one has an American Championship. Like, your country is called the United States of America. It's right. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I think that's a better name, especially with Canada, America. It's the good counter, because these are sister titles basically. Not gonna lie, wanted to call it the America title real bad. Kind of went down that road almost of the getting rid of that A and putting an apostrophe. America. Right? So
America.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a violent. Look at the GIF is playing here that GMSG made. This awesome thing with all this violence and weaponry, and there's like the barbed wire with the flag. It's pretty great. America first. The American Championship will actually debut at Fastlane. It's not waiting till WrestleMania. It's happening sooner. So, the first ever champion will be declared in basically a month from today. And it will be the FPL American Champion. And it's going to be violent. How do you feel about the titles, BeerMe, as the last ever Canadian champion?
I like them.
Yeah?
I like them. I think they're pretty sweet. Yeah, whoever wins that American title, you can honestly, nobody can ever take away you being the first ever champion, which is pretty cool.
You better believe I want my name on that to be like, I'm the American champion. But I really want the Canadian one. We'll see. Things are coming. We'll see what it is. But yeah, I just love the idea of America first. I know that's like there's actually forgive me. Not to get like political or whatever, but I know there's like negative connotations to that. It was almost like America first, screw the rest of the world. This is in jest. This is the idea of America over Canada. It's the Canadian one. Think of like the Bret Hart style, where it's a little more like reserved. It's more refined. This is a Canadian talking, remember, and the American's a bit more brash, a bit more in your face, a bit more out there, a bit more confident, maybe even. Like it's like, nah, us. That's the Canadian perception of America, which everybody agreed with on our team. So it just seemed fun to have like the contrast there. So as for how those will actually work, we'll get there. We'll get there soon, because we're going to be announcing the actual champion soon. Sorry, BeerMe?
So do these titles have like what am I looking for? Stipulations with them?
Maybe. There could be something at least thematic to them. I mean, you see a lot of violence there for that American one. Maybe. Could be.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll see. I'll tell you what, Barry. We're going to be the first ones to tell people on Trenches within the next week or so.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, we'll make sure people know. How about that? So, but yeah, I mean, when you think of Canadian, you think of American, how does that contrast each other? Could be some fun stuff. Speaking of fun stuff, CT versus Lucian Hollis. Yeah, you've liked Lucian Hollis quite a bit, you were saying. And the valet, Elena. And then just go read this, because what? he's howling and stuff, and like I don't even know. It's insane. CT kind of got his ass kicked even in the no contest, and then got a contract. So he's got a WrestleMania match. He doesn't want it. So. And there's the aftermath. Jason Raitt versus Cure 1 and RGX. Again, I'm not going to go through the full details of these. We already kind of mentioned them. Please go through and read these. But OVS and Must Be Good Guys. This is what I kind of alluded to early on, because after the match, Angela Grace came out, and so did Modstep and Chappers and JJ, and then Bastion was there as well, and there was 9 of you, 3 teams of 3. And then Red was pissed because the America thing interrupted her during her speech, and this has been going on and on and on. So basically, what happened is she came out and said a single word, which is here. So it's fun that I get to do this now, but War Games. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. War Games. How do you feel about War Games, BeerMe?
I've been in a few of those, so...
I haven't. I've never been in one. I was hoping to be in one actually last year towards TakeOver War Games, but, things happen. It doesn't say when or where. We'll get there as we go. But...
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel being the 3-man group going in there against 3 out of 4 and 3 out of 5? Do you think that gives any kind of advantage in that sense? Do you know everything about you 3, or is it a little worrying?
I mean, it's an even playing field, and like I said, we're starting to roll a little bit. Knock on wood. Where the fuck wood's at? There it is. And, yeah. I don't know. I've just seen, the other 2 stables, they've been losing a little bit the last couple shows, and, we're getting a little momentum. So maybe, maybe we're off in the right direction. Let's start to get our footing.
Got to keep that way. Got a little while ago before I presume War Game sounds like a big match. I mean, I wonder when I wonder when that could take place. I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah. Maybe on a grand stage.
Maybe the grandest of them all. I don't know. Right. We'll get there. We'll get there. But then there's also the Elimination Chamber itself. And again, this went through, for the first ever Chamber match, we had a lot of violence, a lot of insanity, and toward the end, at the end, Ash won. However, he had Payne come out as soon as it was over and confront him, and yeah, we got the WrestleMania sign. The point. Mm-hmm. The point. We have our main event for WrestleMania: Ash versus Payne, and let's just jump right over there. Let's just scroll through. Yeah, there's a lot of shows. Look, there's Fastlane, there's Revolution, there's the anniversary show, and then there's WrestleMania. And yes, there it is: Payne versus Ash for the FPL World Championship qualifier. Again, the winner of that match goes on to SummerSlam to face the winner of another qualifier to win potentially the first ever FPL World Championship. We're not going to go through predictions right now, but just seeing that, are you surprised by the names, or are you kind of like, yeah, all right, that I can see that.
With Ash and Payne, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's a big
yeah.
one.
That's the yeah.
Oh look, the FPL Canadian Championship, and yes, I know this is at the bottom of the screen, but I don't want to give away the next one. FPL Canadian Championship. Again, we said that'll be declared at WrestleMania. There it is. We have a no-holds-barred death match, like you said. Josh Dionio versus James Costner. Who what?
Does not suck.
There we go. We have, there it is. War Games. OVS, FBU, and the Simple Creatures in War Games. By the way, CT does the graphics for these, and if you notice, there's the fence behind that one, and there's he did a killer job on these. It's really, really good. Look, the FPL American Championship, because of course it's going to be decided at Fastlane, but it's going to be defended at WrestleMania, obviously, right? So
obviously
that's going to be there too. Eye for an eye death match: Jason Blades versus Kier 1. And really, the thematics of that is a death match, just like this other one's a death match. What that means is it is certain rule stipulations. The eye for an eye is thematic. There's not a specific stipulation for that and how your points work. It's deathmatch. So those are in the rules on the site, in the Discord, that is. So RGX versus Rate Wrestle, which actually might be more violent than any of those, but it's not a deathmatch. It's just straight up one-on-one. It's going to be hard hitting as hell. So
yeah, I was going to say.
I like that a lot, actually. And then Jonathan C.T. Martin, yeah, he signed a contract with Junction. There it is. Yep.
Yeah. Yep, he's not too happy about that.
No, he's really not. The picture's great, too. He's really unhappy there, that Pete Dunne photo. But yeah, so back to Revolution. There's nothing on here yet, Bear Me. I think we can close this out with a little bit of Revolution talk. What do you think?
I'm down.
Okay. So I've got 4 things, and they're all matches, but I only have the details of 2, and kind of another one. It'll make sense.
All right.
We've got Sebastian Escobar, who is looking to rebound. He is facing Kier 1-on-1.
Oh.
We also have He Who Does Not Suck, James Costner, going 1-on-1 with Cammy Cat.
Yep.
A little bit of an intersection of history and new stuff and violence. We also have the Casino Battle Royale. Or Battle Royal. More details next week. But you have to be in and have your part of the roster by Saturday to be considered. So who knows what could win from that? It's at a house show.
Wait.
What?
So do you have to have your picks in by Saturday?
No, you just have to exist.
Oh.
You got to sign up.
Oh, you just have to exist. Oh, well,
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you'll never get your picks in on Saturday. Who, you crazy?
No, that would just be...
No,
that's not me.
No, that's not happening, no.
Right.
But yeah, you'll have to be in for Saturday to be considered for that. And now, forgive me, if that's meant to be this Saturday, there'll be something in the description, so check down below. But I do believe that's for next Saturday, to be fair. And then we also have one other thing that I'm announcing. It is basically my match for Revolution, which was originally supposed to be this Saturday, February 27th, which is my birthday. But then they moved it, and it made me sad. So I was going to do an open challenge like I did at the Super Showdown last year, and kind of still do. I'm doing something because it's my birthday show, but they moved it, the bastards. So that's going to be a thing too. I'm going to do a promo about that in character for more specifics. So, but yeah, that is Revolution. We are building toward that. Again, it's a house show. Don't have to participate. But after seeing all this and hearing all this, why wouldn't you? It's so much fun. You want to be part of this stuff, right? So, sign up. The Battle Royal gets you that shot. You might rally into it and end up getting a shot at something. Who can say? We will next week. But if you don't sign up, you're not eligible to be part of it. It might be that shot. What if Escobar wins that? What if?
Yeah.
What can this man not do? Right? Like there's ways.
Or he finishes second again.
No, I was thinking that, but that would be. Ooh.
Yeah, the third time's the charm. You'd have to get this one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
If he was down to the last two, yeah.
But I think we'll call it there, Bear Me. Anything else you want to say about the Chamber or Revolution, which is on the screen? I could look at that. That's what it was. Or just ending in general here, or you think we're good? We're good to go, right?
I think we're good.
I think so.
We covered it all.
Well, we'll return next week then. This has been 40 minutes, which does not feel like that. But we did kind of go a little detailed on some things. But again, we'll be quick next week because we're going to preview the upcoming show, talk about who we think is going to win, who might win, who might lose. We'll have more matches to announce, and obviously more on that Battle Royal. Until then, words are hard sometimes. That's definitely the sign to close it out, I think. Until next time, then, Jeremy. I'll take it out for the both of us. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you in the trenches.